But yeah, so questions for answers? Anime questions? Yes.
I was wondering, because I pretty much asked every female BA this question. Are you a fan of Toho?
Who? Shit, what?
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Are you a fan of the Toho shoot 'em ups?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
What is that? Explain.
Please enlighten us. Maybe we will be.
It's a shoot 'em up starring a whole bunch of girls, and it's very popular amongst anime and manga fans.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
Well, now I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Yeah.
I teach
If anyone ever
stage
suggests
combat.
that, if they were to voice any Toho or any of the people in the cast, which one would it be? But no one's ever said yes so far. So.
No, they haven't seen it. I would be the bratty girl. Whoever's snarky, I would probably be that one. Most likely, it would be a Yamada type character.
Typecasting.
Typecasting! Yeah. Anyway, so, other questions?
Doesn't have to be about anime.
Pepperoni is good.
How's it like?
Garlic cheese filled crust.
What was your first pizza?
I don't know. I've been eating pizza like my whole life. I'm not sure. All I remember is my dad used to order pizza and Coke, and I've always hated Coke. And he would always give it to me. And I'd be like, Dad, I'm 15. I've always hated Coke. Why are you still giving me this? He's like, but you like RC Cola. You know, I'm so mad. It's like, I don't drink soda.
So are you like hungry? You want us to order you some pizza?
Oh my gosh. Not yet. I ate at that buffet downstairs, which was kind of, it was strange.
Once I saw that, I was like,
Well, okay, because usually the food's pretty decent, but this time, like, it was like fried rice, but it was like Uncle Ben's. And I could taste, like, the plastic on the package. And then, like, they had, like, these, like, imitation Chinese food, but it tasted like Kellogg's. Like,
they probably had that from last night.
yeah, like, it looked like it was covered in, like Captain Crunch. And it kind of tasted like it was covered in Captain Crunch. So I feel bad because I got this huge plate of food, and I was like, I didn't eat any of it. It looked really bad.
I was hungry. Now.
I really want to eat some raw fish while I'm here, if possible, because I'm addicted to it. And oysters, but they're not in season.
Oh no, we're going to an oyster bar.
Are we? There's oysters?
There's a fantastic oyster place that we're going to. You're first than you.
Okay, for both of you, what would you say is your favorite role that you've ever done in your history of working in voice acting?
I'll give you the standard answer. Nobody's my favorite. They're all like my children, and you can't tell your child that they're not your favorite. But the truth is, no.
You will never know.
I particularly like Astria from Heaven's Lost Property. She's far more buxom than I could ever hope to be, even if I had plastic surgery. And she's really stupid, and I really like that.
She's an idiot.
She is an idiot and hilarious and awesome. And I also, like, the first major role I got to do was in Narama Daikon Brothers, and I got to sing. And we come from musical theater, so for me that was a big, awesome, like, you know, coming together of all art forms that I like, put together in a booth. So that was really cool. And it's based on the Blues Brothers, and he doesn't like the Blues Brothers, so that's awesome.
I don't ever have favorites like that because it's like you're always doing multiple shows at one time, at any given time. And there's always a favorite out of those shows, but you're not going to tell anyone because someone's favorite is not the same as your favorite, and you're going to make them mad if you don't like something that they liked or you like something, because you're coming from a different spot. You're coming from what it was like to work on the show, not watch the show. So we don't get to watch the show. We just get to see the parts that we do, and that's it. We don't even know necessarily the interaction with the other characters in the show even. And so, like, you're always doing so many, so you're going to have your favorite one out of all of them at the time. And so I have many favorites. And some of them, like, maybe the character isn't your favorite, but working on it was your favorite. Or, you know, things like that. It's very hard to pick. So, you know, like, it's easier for me to do favorite boy characters because I've only done 2. So I like both. But yeah, the girl characters are so many. Okay, but Yamada was pretty hilarious. And I laughed all the time.
My favorite character of Brittany's is one that she did recently that was like, she was like the perv of the whole show.
Oh, are you talking about Magic White O Samurai Girl? Oh my god! I thought that I said the worst line I could ever say at Vigata. I actually took a picture of it, just the line, and put it online, and I was like, haha, I got paid to say this. Because it was so ridiculous. People were like, no, and I was like, no, really. And then there was a better one, and I was recording with Chris, and I can't even say it because it's so inappropriate.
Yeah. It's
So inappropriate. Has anybody seen Magikoi O Samurai Girl?
Let's hear it right.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Anybody, yeah, anybody that's watched Magikoi, like,
You have? Have you seen the dub?
All of Britney's everything is
Everything I say is horrible.
It's
And
horrible.
hilarious.
And it was great because I'd start and finish every session with Chris going, oh my god, let me show you what Britney had to say today. It was great. Oh my god, you're going to think this is hilarious. And then I'll be like, Britney! Oh!
I was having way too much fun on that show.
It was hilarious.
No, man, it was fun doing Chizuru from Hakuoki. That was really fun. Like there's always a favorite, you know, out of all of them at the time. Icarus was fun in Heaven's Lost Property. She's very different from anything I ever did, and that was cool because I'm very bubbly in personality, and she's supposed to be without emotion. So I like kind of stood there like the whole time, like a blow-up doll, trying to like do that. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It's a follow-up question. Have you seen Alyssa the End yet?
No, I've heard, we just were talking about it last night. I heard it was,
Okay, to follow up with
I
that,
also heard it was the best ending of any comedy movie that's ever, but don't ruin it for me because I don't know. But I have to see it.
If you guys and like all those voice actors in the anime industry were put in that situation, who do you think would be the first one to get
All the voice actors in life
in like, the anime industry?
in the anime industry.
Who would be the first one to just to get killed?
I don't know, maybe Brittany and I would throw Michael Tatum
To the boys.
Yeah.
Throw him to the boys.
like,
No,
take him!
no, we'll throw him to the girls, better yet. We could just throw him and Greg to the girls.
Like, yay, we can get
No,
away.
I don't fuck up the tree!
I think Brittany and I would probably end up being the last survivors just because she and I stick together.
And we know
so
how
we
she
would just
does.
start throwing voice actors out. Like, you're next, sorry!
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Yeah. I'd be like, into the crowd.
We're out.
No, yeah, I don't know.
In the back, I see you.
Carlos.
Are you guys looking forward to season 3 of Heaven's Lost Property?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Forward.
That I mean, we work with Chris Ayers a whole lot, and I've always called him my director because I've done so much theater with him and her too, and but Bevins is the director of Heaven's Lost Property, and he is probably one of the most stringent, like, he will work you to the bone to get the performance he wants, but he's also hilarious. So it's it's a lot of laughing all the time. So yeah, I really can't wait to get back into that whole mindset of being.
Both of them really care about, both the directors really care about the product.
Yeah,
And it's nice. Not all of them do.
That's not always the case.
So, and you know, a lot of times you might listen to something and you might be like, God, they didn't do a good job on that. But you never blame the actor because it's not their fault. It's a director.
It's always the director's fault.
We don't cast ourselves.
That's right.
Nope. People be like, you're not good for that character. Sorry.
He cast me.
Yeah, like he cast me. Why don't you talk to him? Talk to the Japanese. They approved it.
Yeah.
You have not asked for it.
Yeah, you haven't asked me.
Just one from Missy Mosier.
Yes, Mosier.
How do you, I love Nerve and Icon Brothers.
Thank you.
Did
Me too.
Yeah, after we finished the series, did you look at pandas in a different limelight?
Yes.
Yes?
I have so many panda shirts now and panda toys and all kinds of things you don't even know. For a long time, that was the only show that people seemed to care about that I'd ever done. So I would get gifts a lot. In real life, I don't see them as sexual creatures, so if that's what you're asking. Actually, pandas weren't ever they weren't ever something that, like, super cute, but it wasn't like, oh, I love pandas. And then I did that show and I was like, oh, pandy, like, I love it. And I used to carry one around, like, almost every con I'd go to, I'd carry this panda around that somebody had made me, and it had like a daikon that they had built. It was really cool. Now he sits on my bed.
That's awesome. Incidentally, I remember, weren't you that girl who was like, I'm going to sue you, or whatever, like that girl girl from Merriman Icon Brothers.
I'm the
Yes.
bus driver.
You're the bus driver.
That's kind of like the Pee Wee Herman bus driver, and then I'm like this fat lady.
Yeah.
It's eating.
We're the slow girl.
I never play old lady. Like I got to play old lady in it, and which never happens because
Yeah.
it's totally unrealistic.
Wow.
And yeah,
Only
I'm like,
just
did you call me fat? That's like it. It was like it was great. It was fucking fun. And just saying background stuff. It was a fun show to work on. It was hilarious.
It was good.
Sexy. I'm sexy. I watch it.
Yeah, I do too.
Wait.
You?
That guy who said, are you looking forward to season 3 for Full Self? That might be asked you. I don't know if you're in the show or not, but are you looking forward to season 2 of Railgun?
Has that been released?
Railgun,
Released for sub already. You guys have it for subs, simulcast.
Has it been released? Like anything about
they're
Railgun?
distributing it
Released?
online.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I play Makoto Misaka in Railgun. And yeah, I'm excited. That was fun.
Yeah,
It
and
was great. Don't call me bug zapper.
they already started casting for. That's at the end, they didn't give a definite answer, but they already started casting for Attack on Titan.
There's certain things you're not allowed to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we know when they get the titles, and sometimes we don't, and you know, we don't cast, so pretty much we don't know until they're
Yeah, if you get
hey,
the audition.
come into this and record, and sometimes they won't tell us what.
And it's a little different for the people who are based out of Houston as in comparison to the people who are based out of Dallas. We don't necessarily get cast and everything because for us to go up there is we have to have more hours. We have to have a big part or else it's not worth us driving 5 hours and paying for the gas in the hotel room and driving 5 hours back. So we don't necessarily just get an option to be in every show. It's just shows where they really need someone that, because they have people up there, you know. So mostly we work out of, you know, Houston and do a lot of stuff in Houston and, you know, and that stuff gets released a lot faster. So we're always usually able to talk about it pretty.
Especially now that Sensei's really coming back with a vengeance. We're
Oh,
recording
yeah.
a lot in Houston. Between Brittany and I think one or both of us is there every day, which is really nice. And there's been a lot of titles that have come out in the last year. Funimation is a little different. Their release dates take a little longer, so sometimes we can't talk about the stuff that we're doing. Sometimes we don't go up there for a month.
Yeah.
And then we get a call and
Shit,
go
sometimes I don't go
there.
up there for a couple months or
Yeah.
a couple, you know. I go up to probably ADV at least once a week just to even do like pickups or little stuff. At some point I go up there like once a week, but yeah, I don't necessarily go up to Funimation all the time. It depends.
And sometimes we don't know that things are released or information has been released that we can talk about until our fans hit us up on Facebook.
Yep.
They're like, totally just heard you in so-and-so show.
You're like,
It's
oh,
so
it's
awesome."
released,
I'm like,
yes.
I can talk about it. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know.
Speaking of something that I can talk about now is Fairy Tail. I play Wendy in Fairy Tail. And that just got released, and that was pretty cool that I can talk about that now. And I tried to get Fairy Tail swag, but it's nothing that has Wendy on it, but I have Fairy Tail swag to give away.
Woohoo.
I have the Kate Shelter Guild tattoos. That's what's up. Sorry.
What's up?
That's what's up. It was cool. No, she's funny because she just says sorry all the time for like the first couple episodes. I was like, what am I gonna do? Cry and say I'm sorry and trip? Like that's what she does, you know. But then things change eventually. But it's funny. Like her and Carla kind of reverse roles. But yeah, pretty neat. Cool. Anyway, yeah,
What got you guys into anime?
that's a good one. I think.
Well, guys, in the anime, Greg Ayers got me into anime as a fan first. We used to go to Greg and Chris's house after a theater rehearsal or after a show and sit and watch anime in his amazing room with stereo.
Did you guys just watch Tsunami?
I did not watch anime before I got into it. I didn't know what anime was. It wasn't. I just had no idea. I was like, oh, Go Speed Racer.
Yeah, I think that was my first introduction was like Hello Kitty and Speed Racer, and I didn't realize that was anime. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was a genre.
I just thought it was cartoons.
But then we all did theater together, and Monica and Patton and Greg Ayers were all recording for ADV at the time, and said you should audition. They're having open auditions. I was like, yeah, but I don't do voices. I don't do impressions. You know, I'm an actor, but I don't do. And they're like, no, we don't need impressions and voices. We need actors, people that can act, and you know, you'll work on your voice later, and it'll be fine. And I was like, I just don't think they'll cast me. So magically, my name appeared on a list, an open call list. Don't know how that happened. Yeah, I do. And then they called me and they said, hey, come audition. And I did a reading, and I didn't get called for like 8 months. And I was like, oh, well, clearly I was right, and I'm terrible at this, and they're not going to cast me. And then I got a little part in Loki, and then I replaced a girl in Godanner who wasn't showing up for work. And
Who did you replace in Godanner? Oh, good. I'm so bad.
one of the girls we did theater with, and
I'm so bad. Like, you're so much better.
she wasn't showing up for work, so I got that.
How did you not show up for that job?
Yeah, how could you not show up for that job? And then I started doing conventions and met people at Animation and got cast there, and the rest is kind of history. But we're all actors. I mean, first and foremost, that's the first thing we do. We all went to school for theater. One of her teachers was Chris Ayers in high school, so that's kind of how she came into our
Well, I didn't have his as my teacher, but I met him when I was 15. I did at the Country Playhouse. They did A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. By the way, Chris Ayers is one of the most talented directors I've ever met. He's not just talented in the anime sense, he's actually just stage-wise a very talented guy. He's a fight director. He's really good at choreographing like funny stuff on stage. Like during A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, there's a series where they do the chase. And his went on for like minutes, and it was hilarious. And people would like come out of windows, and like go out of everybody's chasing each other, and like this person comes in, and they're like, oh, there they are, and then the person who's looking for him comes in after. He's just really good at the timing and showing people how to fight on stage to where it looks really realistic and good. He's multi-talented. And when he left that theater, we were like, oh, see ya. Because like I was following him wherever he went. He was the heart and the best thing about that theater. And he left, I was like, see ya. But I did the Rocky Horror Show. And I was 17 when they casted it, and I just turned 18. I graduated when I was 17 of high school. And so he was like, well, you're not old enough, it's an all fetish version. But then the girl who was playing Janet decided that she wanted to do something for Alley Theater, and they needed someone to come in like at the last minute. And I just turned 18, and I was like, perfect, which did not work out for her, but it worked out for me. So I went in and I did the Rocky Horror Show, and we learned it in like 2 days with half the cast. And then just did it, and one of the second days that I did it, Matt Greenfield and Tiffany Grant, the founder and first voice actor at ADV ever, came to see it and said, yeah, we want you to come in. And they brought me in to do bit parts on Gantz, and I got to talk crap about Chris's parts. And they were like, oh, don't worry, we're going to bury it. And they didn't at all. It's like so loud. They turned it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but and then I think the first decent thing that I got was, like, I got a lot of little stuff. I got like Rhea and Detective Loki Ragnarok, and then I was like Fuko and Gilgamesh, and it kind of went from there. I didn't get into Funimation until a few years ago, and I think the first thing I did was Maya and My Santa, and then Sia and Shuffle. And then after that, then I got in there, but at first, it was kind of hard to get into there.
Yeah, the first thing I did for Funimation was a song. I sang a credit song for One Piece, and that was it. And I was like, oh, they don't want me to voice act, they just want me to sing. All right, that's fine, that's great. And then didn't get called for a while, and that's just kind of you just like every actor, you just keep pushing until you get it.
Yeah, it's a come and go kind of job. Sometimes it's slow and sometimes it's not.
Brina and I were telling people last night, don't do it. If anything in the world makes you happy other than acting, do that.
It's a lot. You have to be really good at accepting rejection, and people don't realize that. They're like, oh, I love your job, it must be so awesome. And it's like, it's really not awesome for people to tell you you suck on a regular basis.
Or like to audition and not get a call, and,
yeah.
and you have no idea what you did
wrong. Or to not get the
or,
audition, like that crushes you, where you're like, why didn't I get that audition? And just acting in general, sometimes my agents, I'll be like, but that character is supposed to be over 18 playing 16, I could do that, why didn't I get that audition? That kind of stuff. And it's a lot of, you thought you got it and you didn't. But you have to be able to handle that and handle people criticizing you and take it for what it is and fix those things about you and move on. And if you don't have to pick yourself up and get back on the horse mentality, it's not for you. Because people are going to knock you down all the time. It's like, nobody likes to hear that. They like to hear all the good stuff about it, but they don't like to hear that it was a lot of hard work to get there and that it isn't just talking. You are acting in the booth. It is a thing that you have to have tools for. You have to put the tools in your toolbox. You have to have training. People don't, they're like, but I'm good at doing this voice. And it's like, yes, but you have to be good at portraying emotion without moving.
And if you're only good at doing one voice, that gets really boring after a while. You're like, okay.
Like, let's do know where you're watching.
Well, I mean, some people don't have that many in the
Well,
bag, or they get typecast.
And I mean, Mike Judge and Seth MacFarlane are real prime examples of people that. I mean, Seth MacFarlane, he's got a pretty wide range, but Mike Judge in particular, you can tell every character he plays. It's the same basic-ish voice, you know. And we have that. All of us do. I mean, Greg Ayers. If you cannot tell who Greg Ayers is on a show, that
I can pick out anyone. Like I'm like I know that. There's sometimes at Funimation I get confused because some people sound like some people at Funny.
This one and Jeremy Lee sound so much alike sometimes.
She has to be sick, and then she sounds like
Freaks me out. It freaks me out.
because I'm like hoarse compared to her.
But there's some people that, yeah, they do use the same basic voice for every, and it works. But you have to be a good actor in order to pull that off. You have to be able to emote.
Yeah, and a lot of people I don't think they realize that it voice acting is a genre of acting. It's not just acting; it's a genre inside of it. But we do general acting. We do all kinds. I do commercials. I do a lot of corporate gigs where I dress up as Little Mermaid and go to a 2-year-old's birthday party for a couple $100. I do hand out tickets at things and just random jobs all the time, and or at McDonald's you do the training video for the workers and you're like, you put the bun on the meat like this. Like that. I do a lot of that stuff. I don't just do anime. I wouldn't pay the bills. You know what I mean? I don't really know that many people who have the luxury of only doing cartoons. They have to either write or they have to direct or they have another job because it doesn't pay that much.
In LA.
Yeah, and you need a backup because once you are done working on a show, you're unemployed.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have a guaranteed job at all.
And the crappy part about on-screen or stage acting is you can not get a part simply because, oh, your eyes are brown and we wanted someone with blue eyes. You're really good, and honestly, you're amazing and would be great in this part, but your nose is too small. What?
But in
terrible.
anime, it's cool because you can play things that you wouldn't.
Yeah, but I can play an old lady in anime or a young kid, and I could never get cast.
And I can play a boy with muscles.
Yeah.
With big, huge muscles.
Or some weird, some weird dog or something. That's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, you can play creatures and characters and dudes.
And Pokemon.
Not really realistic as a guy, but
people do Pokemon and their whole thing is, one sound. That's all they do.
Did you get to do that, or did you do DBZ?
I did Pokemon.
Both.
I did Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon.
I'm about to do.
Oh, hell yeah! Pokemon. What's up? She did it. Come on, y'all. It's awesome.
It's the one show I've done where people are like, I don't know anime, but I know that.
Yeah.
I know what that is. My kid loves Pokemon.
I get that a lot, and then with people know One Piece, or they know, and it's funny because in One Piece, I'm the boat. You know what I mean? I'm oh, I'm the boat, and I'm on Piece, I'm an episodic character that at one point was talking out of her neck. We zoomed in 80% to Magic Flaps, and they were here, and they were sideways. I was like, what? You can't see it because it's so far. She's so far away in the actual show on your TV, you're not going to see it, but we have to zoom in to Magic Flaps. They'll zoom in 180% so you can see them, but they were right here. Ew, no.
There's a mosquito in here, so anybody that's got the Miyagi touch, do it. I usually do, but I messed up. So.
Where's Matthew? He's really good at that.
Where?
Oh, get him, get him, get him! Yes!
I think I got him.
Did you get him? You at least
got
knocked
part
him
of him.
Yeah,